Secret made that response out of he could have made that response out of anger, and that's what he might have immediately thought about when he wrote that. But I don't think that's what he meant to the citizens. I think what he meant was that if you you should the citizens should highlight their problems to the government if they have an issue with the government's policies. So does that answer your question?
Does the government not support the key rights to protest? I mean, of course, no one's commending destruction of property or anything, but does the government not believe that peaceful assemblies and gatherings equals as a form of a mass crowd communicating their distrust and their disagreement with government policy?
Yes, I understand, Rami, but maybe the government doesn't prefer to go down in onto protests. I mean, the government supports peaceful protests in Banda, and I completely agree with you on that. But I don't think that's Secret's personal response and not the government's response as a whole. So if you have any questions or inquiries, you should proceed to YAB Mr. Secret to solve the issue. And I think the issue about Dewan Negara has been highlighted and has been clarified by Mr. Secret. And if you really have an issue with it, he suggested to DM him or go down to PMO to talk to him. So does that answer your question, Rami?
Yeah, thanks. Let's cynically ask now.
Okay, now I forgot.
Does anyone else have questions for PDM or the government?
Solihi.
Solihi, do you have any questions? Solihi?
Say in chat, when can I get free Robux?
The Discord doesn't give free Robux. If he wants free Robux, he should go to some other server, because this server's obviously not going to give him free Robux. I'm going to answer some questions. Cynically, do you want to?
All right. So the Prime Minister just released a statement that Rami just talked about, responding to the protest. And yes, I agree, it is rather aggressive. And what is your opinion of it? Because I think that the leader of this country must be patient to facing the problems that the people and the government are facing. We shouldn't be we shouldn't be aggressive to the people because they are protesting. They have right to do so, and the government should listen.
Solihi, please allow others to talk in the VC. Don't disrupt other people. Cynically, can you repeat your question again? Cynically, can you repeat your statement again? Thank you.
So I think that the response of the government responding to the protest is rather aggressive, and I believe that the leader, the prime minister, shouldn't be aggressive, but rather listen, because protesting is a form of pressure to the government, and therefore must be heard by the government and should not be disregarded, as some is yeah that that's it from my question. So I want to ask Labuan Oculus, what is your POV of it? What is your point of view on the situation, on the PM statement that is very aggressive towards the people?
Okay, so what I have to say about this statement is I would definitely say this statement was a personal response from the Prime Minister, and it wasn't a full reflection of the government. So I think that what he
I have a follow-up question after that.
As I said in the previous response to Rami, I have said that this is definitely Secret's stance on this issue and not the government's
So
stance. And
let me follow up on you with this.
hold on.
Cynically, one sec, cynically.
Alright,
Is the
alright.
Prime Minister using government announcements and updates as his personal channel of communication rather than a channel to be communicating official government updates?
I would consider it a personal response and a government update at the same time, because he's encouraging people not to spread false news or argue about the abolishment of Dewan Negara, which was apparently false news. And he's using the government news channel as a way to tell people, yeah, if they have an issue, you come to me and I'll solve the problem for you. And I think that's what Mr. Secret wants to bring across. But I think that the way he said it and the way he uh, made it sound like,
Announce it.
yeah, the way he announced it was not very polite or nice to the citizens. But I would fully support protesting as a member of parliament. I would honestly go down as a government. We will agree that we would go down to Bandar to see what's happening, and I fully support protesting. It's a way of voicing out your opinions to the government, and it is definitely an effective way. But we encourage Malaysians, if possible, to make peaceful protests and not to create any more problems in Bandar. And
Uh,
that's my personal response from myself as an MP. I believe if you have any more questions, you should direct them to Prime Minister Secret.
However, the Gov News is for government announcements and therefore is not for personal opinions. It must be the government's point of view, not the individual prime minister's view. It
Yes,
shouldn't be
but
personal. It shouldn't be
the
personal or
reason
subjective.
the reason why this was sent from Prime Minister Secret was because the abolishment of Dewan Negara was Secret's idea. So basically, Secret was the one who's supposed to represent the government on this issue. But I believe the way he phrased his words are not polite to the citizens, and I believe that if you think this is not polite, this should be highlighted to the Prime Minister and to the MP. If you really have an issue, we can highlight it to the PM for you.
All right.
Does that answer your questions, Nikki?
Yeah.
All right. Does anyone have any questions? If not, I'm going to proceed to MP and citizens to answer some questions. No? All right. So first, you have a question from Comrade, which I tried to answer earlier. What is the group's goal, or what is the group's personal? What is this group's history or personal? So basically, this group has no history, but it's a group started by me. It's an idea by me to connect citizens together in a constituency-like server. So if you guys want to go to info and see, it's basically a community Discord which is part of a pilot constituency management project proposed during the by-election, and it will basically focus on connecting with constituents and Malaysians. And basically, this server is managed by me and management committee members and the volunteer board members. So if you have any inquiries regarding this, you should ask. You should ask me or any other administrators you have in the server. So we have a ping from Raisha in Global, and she asked, "Sorry for the ping, but this is the question: who will settle this?" Okay, I would like to ask Raisha, who will settle what? What issue are you highlighting? Are you referring to the incident on the abolishment of Dewan Negara? While she types, I'll respond to other questions. So Raisha mentioned that it's about the protest. So I would like so basically this protest issues um, will be highlighted and settled by Prime Minister Secret, of course. As I would say, if there are any issues, it should be highlighted to the Prime Minister and he's the one who will settle all these issues. And I believe that Raisha, if you have a problem, as I said in my two earlier responses to Rami and Cynically, that if you have a concern, you should share it to Prime Minister's secret. Does that answer your question, Raisha? Thank you. So I'll go to MP and citizens to see if they have a question. So Comrade also asked, do we need more politicians and or parties? In my personal opinion, I don't think we need, I think we need more competent politicians and parties in parliament. And in my personal view, I think there should be more talented politicians to take over positions in the government and the opposition itself. And I believe the current government is and opposition is doing well in its rule in Malaysia. And I believe the leader of the house, the leader of the opposition, the prime minister, the deputy prime minister, all is doing well in their position, respective positions. And for this question, I've received a request to answer the question in Malay from Raisha. I will answer it in Malay later after I answer it. So basically, for this question, I would like to ask for a few opinions from MPs in this VC. So, does any MPs want to share their opinions on this question? Cynically, Jonas, leader of the opposition.
What?
So, would you like to share your opinions on the question? Do you think there should be politicians and parties in parliament?
In my opinion, we have not enough parties. As of right now, there's only 2 real parties, or 3 actually. I forgot about NLP. Sorry for that. What do you mean? Anyway, I'm gonna go back to the question. No, I'm not Polish, Clash. Anyway, back to the question. Don't annoy me. So, and politicians, we also need more of those. We don't have enough competent politicians, like big politicians in different parties in Malaysia. 3 parties, and yeah, that's my answer.
All right. Now I would like to does Cynically want to answer this question? Any other MPs want to answer this? Cynically?
What was the question?
Do you think we need more politicians and or parties in parliament? You as a member of the Parliament of Malaysia, as a person in parliament, how would your response be to this question?
So at the moment, politicians in Malaysia is very scarce. We are seeing decreasing numbers of MPs, and and of course, as expected, Secret won't be as prime minister for the coming terms. Probably he'll last for like one or two terms, and then that's it. So I think we are having a shortage of MPs and MPs who lack the leadership skills. No offense. And I think that's something that should be looked. I think that's something that should be checked. And I think we should be inviting more people to be MPs.
Right. Thank you, Cynically, for your response. So I would like to highlight the earlier request made by Solihi to answer Raisha's question in Malay. So if MPs don't mind me talking in Malay, I'm sorry. I apologize if my Malay is not that fluent, but let me just try to answer this. So basically, Raisha, this movement ni kita nak benarkan yang berhormat secret untuk menyelesaikan masalah ini. So kita nak highlight kalau Raisha ada apa-apa soalan,